guys, welcome back. This is Nadine from Fitness and Fat Loss with Fit Body Bootcamp. Today I'm really excited. Well, I get excited about all these shows, but we're going to talk about mind games, okay? Now, your motivation. This is often a common topic that is actually overlooked, and I have to, talk to a lot of my members daily about this. When you kind of get frustrated or kind of get bummed out that you're not, seeing the inches drop down or the weight drop down on the scale, you got to get ramped up and, jazzed up again and just be positive about, what's going on with, your healthy lifestyle change. So stay tuned, and I'll see you soon. Hey guys, welcome back. Nadine here. So today we are going to talk about, your motivation and the thought process that you go through when it comes to, a new change in your life. Okay, whether it's fat loss or whether it's just starting to exercise more. Okay, this is a really big topic that I really kind of get excited about because it's just kind of what I often call it is actually flipping the switch. Okay. A lot of people that come to me and think that they want to make a change, but I'm a pretty good reader as to, are you really ready? Well, how do you know if you're ready? Before anyone comes into my gym, I make them fill out a form and I ask them, what's your goal and why do you want to achieve it? On a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do you want to achieve it? Okay? So once I take that, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your number? Okay, so if it's like anything lower than like an 8, you probably aren't ready, and I don't really want to have you as a member. Okay, it might sound kind of harsh, but you need to be ready. Okay, it's just like for any type of change in your life. Okay, you really need to be ready. Okay, why? Because the big why is a big factor that's going to get you out of bed at 5:30 in the morning or get you off the couch after you've been laying there after work and you need to go work out. That why factor is a huge thing. It's all in your head, okay? So we're going to talk about setting goals just right in about the middle of this show. But first off, I want to know, what's your readiness for change? So on a scale of 1 to 10, okay, before you make any changes, okay, what's your readiness for change, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, and why do you want to change, okay? So let's say, for an example, I want to lose 10 pounds, or I want to get down to my college pants, okay? So that's a pretty specific goal, which is great, and we'll talk about that, and why do we want to achieve that? Because, the thing is that why is, maybe someone kind of, mention something that, oh, Nadine, you haven't seen you in a while, you've gained a little bit of weight, or maybe I just was in front of the mirror and I'm sick and tired of trying to get these jeans on that I won't go buy new jeans. I keep getting tighter on these jeans. That's a big why factor, as to I'm not fitting into these anymore. Okay, so your readiness for change is the number on the scale of 1 to 10 as to, are you really ready to make this change? If you're not ready, what do you need to do to get ready? Okay, so just ask yourself that. Now, when you're setting a goal or your readiness for change, write it down. Okay, make it publicly known as to telling your friends, your family, your Facebook status. I don't care where you write it, but make sure that it's publicly known, because then you will be held accountable, okay? You don't need a personal trainer to necessarily do that, even though it is always great to have someone, a friend. If you have a workout buddy or, your spouse, you tell them, hey, I'm going to get into these college jeans. I want to get in these college jeans by, in a few months, by Christmas or whatever the case. And when you tell someone, then it's much more prone to happen. Because, they might hold you accountable. They might check in on you, once a week, okay? Write down your goals, okay? Your readiness for change will, force you to, get up in the morning, like I said, okay? The next thing that I really want to touch on is just keeping a journal. I find, like, as I actually mentioned this last topic when it a couple topics ago when we talked about clean eating, okay, tracking your proper healthy, food choices, that also comes into effect for your specific goals, as well as, your exercise, when you're exercising, how often, what you did. Okay, whenever you write things down, you're gonna be much more, held accountable to yourself or to your family members, okay, or your other workout buddies. Get a group together and hold each other accountable, okay? And that readiness for change number is so important. It's going to, when you wanna, psych yourself out that, oh, I can't do this, like I didn't lose enough weight this month, or I'm not seeing any, changes, those times that you feel like you're plateauing. Note, a plateau is when you stop seeing results. It's just, just bombing through those things. It's just, psyching yourself up. Yes, I can do this. I really want this. How bad do you want it? Those are the things that you just need to flip the switch that, on the weekends, if you, see all that, bad food in front of you, how bad do you want this? And that's what I often have to ask myself if I see, bad food in front of me, or when my members say, but it was there, and I'm just like, yeah, but how bad do you want it? Well, I want it bad. Like, what's going to stop you? What are your barriers? Okay? Write that down as well. Okay? What are some things that, will cause you to get off track? Write them down. Maybe a family member, or maybe your friends that tend to go out every weekend. Okay? Those are barriers, and how can I, avoid them, or how can I, get around, preventing me from achieving my goals, okay? All these things, it might kind of sound funny, but it's all about flipping the switch and understanding that these are the things that I need to do in order to get to my goal, and how bad, okay? Ask yourself each time, that you're in that time where you're setting yourself up for something that isn't a great environment. How bad do I want this? How bad do I want to look or get into those skinny jeans by next summer? Okay, that's what's going to really push you through and get you to your goals. Okay, whether it's in exercise, nutrition, or anything in life. Okay, you got to focus and you got to stay, true to your goal. Okay, the next topic that we're going to move on to is just a little bit more on setting goals. Okay, so we'll go a little bit more in depth about how to set a goal and just proper goal setting. Okay, so stay tuned and we'll see you after the break.
I'm Leela. Yes, I do look like this because I'm a workout warrior here at Fit Body Boot Camp. I just finished an hour of one of Nadine's awesome sessions. I initially started coming to Fit Body Boot Camp. I started to lose a little bit of weight, and I knew for me I wanted to take it to the next level, and Nadine's program offered me that. So now I'm almost 70 pounds lighter. I've accomplished things I never thought I would ever try. I've ran several 5K runs. I did a Warrior Dash in Barrie this summer. My name is up on the wall, and I think for me that was actually one of the greatest moments in that I had a complete stranger that I had never met before. It's like, hey, you're Leela, you're up on the wall. And I was like, wow, yeah, I am, I'm famous. And so again, thanks to Nadine, Melissa, Courtney, and absolutely everybody that has coached me along the way in that to continue to where I'm at.
Hey guys, welcome back. Nadine here. So the first part of this show, we actually talked about mind games, your motivation. Why do you actually want to make a change, and what's going to get you to that change, okay? So the number one thing is mainly, what's your readiness for change? The next thing is, okay, I'm ready to make a change, Nadine, okay? Here's why, okay? Because I will ask you, why do you want to make this change, okay? The next thing is, okay, let's set a goal, okay? So the first thing to really understand is that you can't make changes, you can't do a complete overhaul, okay? It's just too much. And your success rate will go very low, okay? So let's just change one thing at a time, okay? One habit at a time, okay? So just to kind of attack little pieces and just think about over a year, you know, we can make a huge change, you know? If you're looking to lose, let's say 50 pounds or get down to, you know, a pair of jeans that you haven't worn in 5 years, don't expect, you know, extreme changes to happen overnight. You know, it wasn't overnight that weight was put on. So, you know, just think about it. It's a journey, okay? It's not overnight, okay? So when it comes to making a proper goal, I want you to get a pen and paper and write this down. Okay, we know this as SMART goals. Okay, you want to make sure that you make a proper goal so that we can make sure that it's measurable. Okay, and I make every one of my members do this. Okay, I don't care what your goal is, whether it's to run a 5K or a 10K or to, you know, get down to a size 12 pair of pants and you're currently in an 18, or drop 50 pounds, whatever it is. Give me something, okay? So the first thing to really understand is when you're setting a goal, all about SMART goals, it's you have to write it down, okay? Number one thing, we just chatted about that earlier in the show, is write it down. Otherwise, if it's not written down, it's just a wish or a dream, okay? Write down this goal, okay? The next thing is to understand that when it comes to a SMART goal, it has to be specific and measurable. Okay, so very, very specific. Now you might have, you know, long-term goals, you might have very short-term or goals, and you can write down one for both, that's fine, but let's just start off with your short-term, okay? Something specific. So let's say it is to lose 5 pounds or to get into a size 12 pair of pants, okay, or to run a 10K, okay? Those are 3 different options for something that is very specific and it's measurable because it's either I do the run or I drop the weight, and whatever the case may be. I know that I'll be able to measure that, okay? The next thing is that you have to make sure that it has a specific timeline. Otherwise, you'll just keep pushing it off, okay? So sign up for that run, or, you know, buy those pair of pants if you don't already have them, you know, stuffed in the back of the closet. Pull them out and hold them out, you know, have them somewhere where you can see them daily, because it's going to be a constant daily reminder, oh yes, I got to go to the gym today, or yes, I'm going to eat healthy today. That's going to be your daily reminder as to what you're trying to achieve, and that's going to be your push and your drive, your motivation. Okay, so we chat about that. So a specific timeline, I want to drop these inches by 1 year from now. But remember, it's got to be realistic, okay? It's got to be healthy, okay? So whatever you kind of want to achieve, make sure it is realistic, you know, and you can decide that. Just make sure that it's not unhealthy by any means. The last thing that I want to chat about when it comes to setting your goals is what's the significance, okay? And we kind of chatted about this earlier in the show. Why do you want to get down to the size 12 pair of pants, okay? Is it because you just don't feel like you anymore? You have no energy at work? You know, maybe your doctor has, you know, kind of given you a warning. Well, you know, the obesity rates are high nowadays, and you know, you're definitely going to have to focus on that, or you're going to be on blood pressure medication, or you're going to get diabetes, or whatever it is. You know, I get a lot of different things, and that's the significance. You know, you want to make sure that you are healthy, and we want to live, you know, healthy, you know, lives. So please make sure you write down the significance. Maybe you just don't feel good in your skin anymore. I don't care how much you weigh. If, you know, you want to get down to just feeling good in your skin, I don't care what your weight is, just make sure that you feel comfortable, okay? Comfortable with yourself. I know a lot of my other members, they just want to be able to keep up with their grandchildren. You know, that's a great goal, okay? That's something significant to them. And everyone's got different life stories, so just write down your significance, because that's going to drive, okay? That's going to drive you to get up, I said, like in the early mornings, you know, to go work out. And when we read these specific goals on a daily basis, have them on your phone, or have them, you know, beside your bed, okay? Maybe even on the mirror in your bathroom. I don't care, just make sure that you're reading them. Even on your fridge is a good spot as well, because when you're going in to, you know, eat whatever you want, that's a good spot to put it as well, okay? So a SMART goal is very important. So specific, okay, measurable. Is it attainable or realistic? And it's got to be timed as well, okay? So, and then obviously, what's the significance to you? So overall, make sure that you set these SMART goals before you get started on a healthy lifestyle change. Overall, this is a very important thing to push you and motivate you, okay? In terms of your readiness for change, these SMART goals, set them, okay? Don't just be a Sunday driver, okay? I often use this line because everyone knows those Sunday drivers that they're not going anywhere. They're just, taking up the road. And there's people that have specific goals and they want to get from point A to B. What's point A to point B? I don't care, wherever you're starting, your beginning photos or your starting photos and your after photos is your point B, okay? We have places to go. Get these Sunday drivers off of the road and get going, okay? I cannot stress enough, it's just like a GPS, okay? You can't, put a destination in if you don't have a destination. So whatever your goal is, like I said, 5K, 10K, down into your college jeans, have a final destination. Otherwise, you don't know where you're going. You're not going to have a drive to keep pushing on the days that you're just kind of blah and you don't feel like working out. That's what's going to get you to the gym. That's what's going to get you to eat clean. Okay, guys? So setting goals as well as, your readiness for changes, a couple things that we chatted about. We're going to chat about one more thing for this show, which is all about mind games, flipping the switch. Are you ready and what you can do to be ready? Okay, guys? So stay tuned. I'll see you when we get back.
The reason I joined boot camp is I had my daughter a year ago and I want to be able to keep up with her. I gained a lot of weight after high school and I need to get it off. I've only been going for 2 weeks and I've lost ½ an inch already, so I'm told that's great. And my short-term goal is I'm going to Hawaii in January and I want to be able to go zip lining. And you have to be under a certain weight, so here I am. I've only been here 2 weeks. I have so much energy. It's such a supportive atmosphere. Everybody's great. I've tried going to the Y or other establishments and it doesn't have the training and someone following along motivating you.
Hey guys, Nadine here again. So we have been chatting today about mindset and mind games when it comes to, healthy eating and fat loss, okay? So the common thing, a lot of people actually overlook these topics when it comes to a new lifestyle change. And as a personal trainer, I often have to meet with members on a regular basis because, you kind of get, off track or maybe, rerouted and kind of fall off, okay? So we bring them back in and have a little pep talk. Okay, what's going on, all right? Well, it was Thanksgiving, or it was Christmas, or Halloween, or summer in general, okay? So those aren't really, those are excuses, okay? I often will break down all of these excuses, okay? Now remember we chatted about readiness for change, okay? When you're really ready, and I mean really ready, I often, and I know when people really flip the switch that, okay, I got it. I'm ready to do this now. That's what I love to see. The light bulb goes off, you understand. Yes, Nadine was right. I need to really focus on my nutrition, and I really need to bust my butt harder in the gym because I really want to see these results. Why? Because, there's something coming up or I want to get into those jeans. So, the final topic that I really want to talk to you about today is mainly kind of breaking down excuses or barriers, okay? And I'm going to give you some topics or some common things that I often hear from people is, well, I'm tired after I get home from work, or I have to drive my kids every which way at night, or, I was, eating bad foods because I was rushed out the door because my kid had to get there, and there, okay? So there's every different excuse I've heard almost, I swear, okay? And I'll help you break them down. It's just setting that, proper mindset, okay? So when it comes to a stressful daily life, Monday to Friday, if you're driving every which way and you don't know where you're going sometimes, okay? I often have to have an emergency healthy meal, okay, always in the freezer. So a common tip that I often use is making sure that you have some sort of, last plan or final plan. So making sure that you have, some sort of protein in the freezer, whether it's, whatever it is, just have something always on hand. And that goes with, your proper planning. Always plan for the worst thing that could happen, okay? Have a backup plan. Is there something healthy in your fridge? Otherwise, have some sort of plan of attack that if you're out and about, what can I eat instead of going through the McDonald's drive-thru or the Tim Hortons drive-thru and grabbing that bagel with loads of cream cheese, okay? So think about your options, and by all means, you can ask us, and we're taking questions in a couple episodes for our final episode. Please, just think of these times where, okay, this is what happened, this is where I broke down, and this is where it comes with journaling, okay? Journal when you're exercising, what you're eating, okay? Because when you fail or fall off track, write down what happened. Well, I had visitors that showed up and they brought this, and this, okay? So then I'll take a look and you'll read it maybe the next week and be like, okay, this is what happened this week. How can I fix it? Okay, so those are these common things that you can kind of see where you're breaking down and how to fix them. Okay, and there's going to be times where you fall off, and it's important to know what happened so that in a couple weeks from now why you didn't drop any inches or drop any weight. It's because this is what happened. How can I fix this? Well, my spouse brought home a bunch of chips and they were eating them, so I felt like I needed to too. Okay, I'm not saying that you can't eat after supper, before anything happens, you want to make sure that you have healthy food options, okay? Still eat, but it's what people are eating later on at night. That's a big time that often people kind of fall off. Or, you're a hockey mom or a hockey dad, and those arena canteens don't always have the healthier option. Or you're about to go to a food party with your staff, or going out for dinner, and that it's not a healthier option. Eat before. These are just simple tips that, oh yeah, okay. Simple tips that people don't necessarily think of, and that's why I'm here to help you guys, okay? Don't be afraid to, ask any question, over the next couple weeks, write down what you're eating and when you're exercising, and if you fall off, ask me, what happened, tell me what happened and how we can kind of, help you, address those barriers or those issues. I often actually get, my family isn't on board with a healthy lifestyle change. So I'm often having to make 2 meals. For me, as a trainer, I find this really frustrating because, you're allowing them to eat unhealthy foods as well, and they could end up being, in a state that you are, which is unhealthy in your own skin, or having, high blood pressure, or